almost there. The sphere to Ryan is up on ahead. Ryan's handed the keys to Fort Frolic over to a guy named Sander Cohen. Cohen's an artist, says some. He's a Section 8, says I. I've seen all kinds of cutthroats, freaks, and hard cases in my life. But Cohen, he's a real lunatic. The guy's a full psychopath.
What a lovely voice. Welcome back, Amibros, to Bioshock. In the last episode, we saved the trees, restoring oxygen back to Arcadia and making our way to the bathysphere that led us to Fort Frolic, a brand new level for us to explore. Spoiler alert, that's exactly what we're going to be doing in this episode. But not before we meet a famous artist that dwells within the level. But before that, you saw that we now have the ability to craft 3 new physical tonics at a U-Invent station. 2 of the most prominent being Booze Hound, which I love for the name alone, and Bloodlust. I'll be getting into what those physical tonics do in a little bit, but it seems our progress has been halted. I wonder who could have done such a thing.
That's better. Atlas Ryan. Atlas Ryan. Da 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 da. Time-wise, you could get something decent on the radio. The artist has a duty to seduce the ear and delight the spirit. So say goodbye to those 2 blowhards, and hello to an evening with Sander Cohen. No, I haven't seen a sign of real life down here in months. Let's see if you're just another Johnny-come-lately, or maybe something more.
Well, if that's your price, Mr. Cohen, then I guess I have no choice but to pay it. Of course, I don't think you'll mind if I take a couple snappy snappies of the spider splicers crawling on the ceiling. It's been a while since we've seen them. By that I mean we didn't see a lick of them in Arcadia, but in Fort Frolic, they're crawling all over the place. Sorry, I couldn't speak there. So if you weren't able to complete your research on them back in Neptune's Bounty, you should be able to easily in Fort Frolic. Which I believe I do. Not with this one. And this one I just beat to hell. As well as this one. Yeah!
Where did you study?
I mean, I studied at the ancient school of learning how to kick ass with a wrench. It's a very exclusive club. Very specific, too. You know, if you don't favor the wrench, or the way of the wrench, as they call it, you won't be let in. And I don't think you have a snowball's chance in hell of getting in there, Mr. Cohen. 1, because you're stuck at the bottom of the ocean, and 2, you don't really strike me as the one that will go in wrenches a-blazing. Yeah, that's their catchphrase, go in wrenches a-blazing. You know, and fuck shit up. But, you know, I mean, who knows? Maybe I can give you a nice letter of recommendation. And that spider splicer tried to drop kick me. I don't know how he missed. I was literally on the side of his legs, but
Smell the malt vinegar in this.
maybe the mask obscures his vision.
I waited so long for something tasty to come to this little burg, but all that pass are yokels and rubes. Where are my manners? Come in! Come in! Sander Cohen awaits you at the Fleet Hall.
Oh, well, you're so welcoming, Mr. Cohen. You don't mind if I do a little bit of vandalism? Haha! I'm going to steal that Eve hypo. But by doing some vandalism, we have unfortunately triggered the alarm. Anytime you break the glass, whether by accident or on purpose, the alarm will be triggered, so you want to make either a mad dash towards a security bot shutdown, or just stand still with your chameleon skin. And because I don't want to subject you fine folks to me just standing around and taking pictures of security bots, I decided to speed up the footage. You're welcome. But yeah, back to describing what Booze Hound and Bloodlust do. Booze Hound basically converts alcohol into recovering Eve. Bloodlust, anytime you whack somebody with your wrench, you regain health. I don't feel I need to go into detail on why those physical tonics are really, really good and why you should equip them if you so choose. But we have finally arrived at the heart of Fort Frolic.
Welcome to Fort Frolic. No need to thank me for jamming the transmissions of those boors, Atlas and Ryan. Let them have their squabble. The artist, yes, the artist knows there is richer earth to till. For example, I test you, little moth, but for a reason. I test all my disciples. Some shine like galaxies, and some burn like a moth at the flame. Come now, into my home.
Nice place you got here, Mr. Cohen. I hope you don't mind if I explore around a little bit. And my cat is just nuzzling up against my back. He's like, stop commentating. Pay attention to me. Alright. Give me 1 sec and I'll be done. Go away, come on. Like, this is why I gotta keep my door closed. But then again, if I do that, he'll just bang on the door. Such a needy little cat. You know. He never wants me to play with him when he's tired, but whenever I'm doing something, he wants attention. Oh no. Screw what you're doing. I want attention. You know? And that lead head splicer got fucked up by just going to that Circus of Values machine. Well, speaking of fucked up, this audio diary.
You won't lock us in, old man? Oh, that's fine when the cops hit. I used to love you. I used to think you're a musical genius. You know why? Because you paid my rent, you ancient hack. Come on to the record store. I'll show you what I think you're plinkety plink plink.
Interesting fellow, that Cobb. I hope we get to meet him soon enough. But funny enough, during the entire time that audio diary was playing, my cat was nestling on my lap and then decided to leave when I had to inch a little closer into my mic. Love you, Juve! Yeah, it's my cat's name, if I haven't stated that already. But back to the game. Funny enough, we've actually seen this level from the outside a couple times. Once when we first entered Rapture, way back in the first episode, and then back in Neptune's Bounty, when we first entered Mariska Lutz's apartment, in the hole in her wall, we actually saw a store in Fort Frolic. But now, another audio diary, this time by Sander Cohen.
By Sander Cohen. I want to take the ears off, but I can't. I hop, and when I hop, I never get off the ground. It's my curse, my eternal curse. I want to take the ears off, but I can't. It's my curse. It's my fucking curse. I want to take the ears off. Please, take them off. Please.
I wonder if anybody introduced the idea of headphones to Rapture. Or hell, if earplugs were a thing down here, did they try to give it to Sander Cohen after hearing that? I mean, they probably did, and then they probably wound up dead, because Cohen is just that type of guy, but still, it's fun to speculate. I don't know if you can hear amidst my commentary, but we do actually have a song playing in the background, Beyond the Sea by Bobby Darin. I would let you listen to it, but I do not want this video to be copyright striked. Funny enough, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the first episode was actually copyright striked by YouTube because of an instrumental version of Beyond the Sea was playing in the background and I didn't talk over it enough. So, yeah. I mean, nothing bad happened amidst that copyright strike. It's just I can't monetize it if it ever comes to that. Which, no skin off my bones. As long as y'all can still watch it, that's fine. That's all I really care about. No, but still, I just find that kind of funny. And it's like now I gotta like talk over the music. No, I let you all listen to the music if you know my videos weren't susceptible to copyright strike, or the game I'm playing wasn't susceptible to copyright strike. And youch, that splicer has a very painful end. Could use telekinesis to save them, but I'm not that generous. Down to possessed little girls and everything. Yeah, of course, I'm that generous. That sounded really wrong, but okay. Subject change, subject change. um, but yeah, I'd let you listen to the soundtrack for a little bit, but I do not want my videos to get copyright striked again, because God knows I probably got the least bad thing, you know, and I don't want to push the envelope, you know. But I do recommend you listen to Bioshock's soundtrack. It is a really good track list of songs. You know, there's not as many in-game tracks as there are out-of-game tracks, but it's fine. You know, the way I see it is, it's a way for the developers to commit to the time period that this game is set in, which I can appreciate. You know, I always love it when developers incorporate some real-life music into their game. They're trying to go for a specific feel. Really adds to the immersion, I feel. But we now found another Power to the People station, and this time we're going to make our chemical thrower go cold turkey. No longer will they guzzle down electric gel, napalm, or liquid nitrogen. They'll now have to eat it in moderation. But in all seriousness, that's one of the best upgrades we could have gotten for our chemical thrower. Now whenever we use electric gel against a Big Daddy, we have a 100% chance of killing them in one go, so long as we have 100 of electric gel. So that is awesome. But while we continue to explore the center of entertainment for the city of Rapture, as well as one of the biggest representations of Rapture's core ideas, art, I figure now's the best time to talk about the art direction for Rapture's architecture and what it was inspired by, mainly Art Deco. If you're unfamiliar with Art Deco, it's a decorative style introduced in the 1920s, 1930s that combines art with craftsmanship. It's often signified by like an ornamental look that's sleek and stylized, being made by man-made materials like plastic or concrete. These kinds of materials are also combined with like jade or silver. You know, if you've ever seen the Chrysler Building in New York, that's Art Deco. If you've ever seen the cities in the film Metropolis, that's also Art Deco, you know, to give you an example. You'll generally see Art Deco used more so in architecture than you will in paintings or other forms of visual art. But you're probably wondering, what does any of this have to do with Bioshock? Well, the core of Art Deco is that it favors modern ideas of progress and looking towards the future. You know, Rapture is a city that represents human science, industry, and art at their peak using man-made materials. It's also meant to represent the future with no limitations, as Andrew Ryan stated back in episode 1. You know, no gods or kings, only man. Him rejecting the answers of, you know, beads of sweat not being entitled to the farmer, instead being entitled to the poor, everybody, God, you know, that kind of thing. The first time we see Rapture, it looks beautiful on the outside, but the inside is a completely different story. You know, inside, Rapture's future is shattered and bleak, with no hope of recovering. You know, and it's because of that that I think this artistic style not only fits the setting, but also the narrative as well. You know? Um, Also, fun fact, Art Deco, based on my research, wasn't considered an artistic movement until the 1960s. You know, see, it's intentional that we find ourselves here. You know, the whole point of us coming to Rapture was to rediscover Art Deco and then bring it back to the surface. You know, it wasn't to kill Andrew Ryan and avenge Atlas's family. No, it was to rediscover this art movement, or rediscover this decorative style and make it an art movement. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Nah. But I think that's enough of the art history lesson. Let's get back to the game. So for right now, we can't travel any further beyond the main area or the heart of the level, as Sandra Cohen has blocked off everything else. So for right now, we're going to have to travel further into the Fleet Hall. Not before taking a picture of this security camera, as I gotta boost my research. Over here, we're going to want to hack the security camera for an upcoming defend the position section. Not too long as the defending the position in Arcadia. It's rather short. And by short, I mean it's incredibly short. But yeah, still have that extra layer of security on your side. Security. But in here, we see an Eve Hypo, as well as our main man, Mr. Cohen himself. Hey, Sander Cohen.
Possibly think I would meet with my public now when I'm preparing. Unbelievable.
I'm sorry, Mr. Cohen. I just wanted to meet you, you know? I get a little antsy sometimes when I meet such bigwig artists, you know what I mean? Fine. I guess I'll have to be a little bit patient. Making my audience wait too, you know. It's not very nice, Mr. Cohen. Could at least sign my pistol. I think Rover would like that. And suddenly the gates to the elevator just pop in. The 360 version, yeah, it's not perfect visually when compared to the remasters, but you know, it still looks rather nice. It's holding together. But yeah, the minute you try to call in the elevator, some splicers will try to jump you, so make sure you have that security camera hacked so you can diffuse some of the tension. But speaking of triggering speaking of security camera, we can now take more pictures of the security bots. There, almost call them security cameras. I didn't mean to call you security cameras. I meant to call you security bots. Damn it. Well, in any event, let's hop on this elevator and see what Mr. Cohen wants us to witness.
Presto, presto! No, no! I'm trying. Please.
Once again, young Fitzpatrick.
No, no! Oh God, you sick fuck, let me out of there! Come down now, little more. Life, death. The burden of the artist is to capture. See young Fitzpatrick here on the stage. Use your camera. Take him as he is now, so I may remember him.
Some hired Betty tried to sell me on those fancy Oxford Club ciggies. No thanks. I told her I'm a nickel time man. Always will be. Why? Well, they smoke good and don't cost half a damn. Who cares if the things are made out of seashells and fish eggs?
Regarding your review of Anna Culpepper's latest musical Insult, of all the worthy artists in Rapture, why you continue to devote column inches to this musical gremlin is beyond my imagination. Where she is not derivative, she's boring. Where she's not boring, she's obvious. Where she's not obvious, she's dangerous.
I worked the meatball beat in Little Italy, and even I'm shocked at the cold blood that oozes out of these artistic types. This broad Culpepper and that fruit job Cohen are in some kind of feud. and Cohen's looking for my security detail to pick sides. The next thing I know, I'm called into Ryan's office to talk about the whole mess. Goddamn nut job artists.
Stood up again. Second time this week. Ever since my face was... Well, Steinman worked on me, but it was never the same since the blast. Me being alone so much gives a girl time to think. Who could hate me so much they'd ruin me like this? And what did I do to them? You know, I keep thinking of all them bandits and terrorists Ryan's got locked up in Palo Square, and I get so mad. Sometimes I can hardly breathe. If I could only confront them, tell them what they did to me, how they're ruining everything for me, for Rapture, maybe I'd feel better.